Hi everyone, my name's Mike and welcome to this video, which is the next in the series, or the mini series, on alternative bikes to a classic. So you may have seen the one I did on the Moto Guzzi Grigio, which I did about 2 weeks ago. It was the premise is you love classics and you'd love a classic bike, but you don't have the time, the necessary skills or whatever, and you don't really want a modern retro. But what sort of bikes fit into the mold? And as I always say, my litmus test is it a bike I would like to take to the classic TT? So as I said, I did my Moto Guzzi Grigio in the last video, and today it's Dave's turn, and he's got a really nice, a really exciting bike for us to have a look at. It's his 2007 Ducati Sports Classic, which he's going to tell us all about. All really that I want to say about it is I just love it to bits. I want it. It's my ideal bike, really. I have a Ducati Multistrada, which is the 2-valve one, which basically is the same engine as the one in Dave's, but it just seems to run a lot more sweetly in the Sports Classic. It's a beautiful bike, so I won't go on about it. I'll leave that for Dave to talk to us about, and I'll have a chat at the end when I get to have a ride on it. So thank you very much for watching, and as always, please like, subscribe and click the little bell. It does make a big difference to us to make these videos, so thank you for your support up till now, and let's get on with the show. Okay, this is Dave, who you've met before many times, and this is his alternative to a classic.
Ta-da! So, do you want me to tell you about it, Mike?
You can tell me all about it.
All right, so here we are in the beautiful Shropshire countryside, freezing our nuts off to tell you about this Ducati Sport Classic. So,
hang on a second, what date is it?
It's a 2006.
No, today.
Oh, today? I don't know.
Just to show our dedication.
Oh, right, it's December the...
something, yeah.
December the... I don't know, 8th, 10th.
We suffer for our art.
We suffer for your art, Mike, we suffer for you.
Okay, I'll stop interrupting you.
That's okay, that's okay. So yeah, 2007 this is, sorry, Ducati Sport Classic. So I haven't owned this that long, and this is my take on a modern classic. It's a bit left field because they're a bit of an ironic bike in that they failed in the marketplace. They didn't sell that well. They only made them for a few years, but some people think that they kind of kicked off the whole sport retro thing. I don't believe that. I think the V11 Guzzi did, but I would say that because I love V11 Sport Guzzis and I love Guzzis. But they failed, and now they're collectible. So to get one, you have to pay more than they cost new. They cost £7,500 new. You have to pay more than that to get one now, and which is ironic given they couldn't give them away. I used to go to a Ducati dealer in London about 15 years ago, 13 years ago, and they had a red Sport 1000S, which was exactly the same as this, but had a half fairing, and they couldn't give it away. They were actually discounted. But as I say, they've risen in price now. So what makes a Sport Classic special in my eyes is it's basically a 1000 SS dual spark DS1000 Ducati engine, belt driven engine, same as in Mike's ugly bugly Multistrada.
Bloody hell.
Sorry, has to be said. Lovely engine, lots of character, too much character for some people, but it's a bit lumpy low down, but they go nice. It's got that lovely elastic torque and smoothness that kind of counterpoints the sort of rumper exhaust that sounds rough. Sounds like a bag of nails.
But this does have the wet clutch.
Good point, Mike. It's got a wet clutch, so it doesn't sound all rattly.
Clack, clack, clack.
Clack, clack, clack. So when they launched the Sport Classics, there were 3 versions. There was the Paul Smart Replica, and very poignant at the moment, thinking about Paul Smart. Mike?
Yeah, because he was killed, what, 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago while riding a Ducati, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Very
know what
sad.
he was riding
No.
exactly. But,
Very sad.
Yeah.
So they launched it as a tribute to Paul Smart. The precursor to all that was the MH900E in about 2002, which was a limited edition sort of sport classic, which was MH for Mike Aylward. But Paul Smart, which was half fairing, Öhlins suspension, green frame to pay tribute to the 750 SS. This, the Sport 1000, which was sort of paying tribute to the 750 Sport from the 70s in this lovely, lovely burnt yellow colour. And what attracts me to this bike is I owned back in the day, as Mike well knows, a 250 Desmo, which was a Ducati 250 single in this very colour. And whenever I see this, I am instantly transported back to 1970 something.
77?
Yeah.
It was like 77.
Yeah, it was a nightmare bike. It was a 75 bike, Rich. It was a nightmare mechanically, blew the big ends up. Should never have been entrusted to a wild-eyed 17-year-old as my first big bike. But I lent it stupidly.
Hang on.
All right, I lent it stupidly to a mate of mine, not a million miles from here.
Who?
You dobbin. And
I don't remember that.
I never got it above 70 mile an hour, and I think you got done for speeding on it.
I got banned.
You got
for
banned.
speeding on it.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Thank God.
3 month ban.
Good.
Tossing up.
You're right. Anyway, but that colour always takes me back to this, so that's the kind of memories for me. But it's a 750 Sport homage, and then there was a GT1000, which was a 750 GT homage that came with wire wheels as well as this one would have done originally, but steel rims. They didn't make them for long. They only made them for 3 years because they didn't sell well. Main reason they didn't sell well was this has got heli bars on it, and if I just point to where the original handlebars would have been, they were there, and then on the later ones they raised them with ST3 bars to about there, i.e. excruciating probably for a 17-year-old. For your average 50 or 60 something who might have been attracted to these kind of bikes, it just made them a non-starter.
And one of the reasons is because the seats are so high.
Yeah, because it's already tilted forward.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Pieter Blanche was the designer, much reviled in Ducati circles because he made some beautiful bikes, super mono, this one, but he made some ugly ones as well.
Which ones?
Well, the Multistrada might be considered by some to be a bit, you know, oh dear, Mike's sobbing now.
Oh, I've got my lip out now.
Yeah, anyway, but he kind of, you know, grasped defeat from the jaws of victory because, as you say, it's pretty tilted upwards at the back, down at the front, and then had the low bars on it. But a lot of them come with flat bars, and it's pretty comfy as it is. Nice seat, quite usable. This one's been modded, brought it back from America, Öhlins shocks, OZ Racing forged wheels, which are literally 20 pound lighter, 10 kilos lighter than the spokes. They don't look as nice as the spokes, maybe. I like them, but they really help the handling. And it's got modified forks. They were unadjustable forks. Those are Öhlins internals with nitrided stanchions. So it's got a few mods on it. It's got the Ducati Performance Kit, which was an airbox, and the silencers and the ECU. And it's got a few bits of blingy carbon. And we've got a helicopter again. And that's pretty much, I think, all to say about the bike.
It's got the lighter flywheel.
Okay.
Oh, it's got a lighter flywheel in it, good point, Rich, which was a Ducati Performance bit for track days, helps it rev up quicker, but makes it even lumpier low down, so that'll be going in the bin.
So that noise, that's... Oh, I thought that was your bike running.
And this is why we hang out with Mike for his razor sharp wit on these freezing cold days. And with that, we'll take it for a spin, shall we, Mike?
I think that's a very good idea, so
Good.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Before we take it for a ride, just wanted to have another look at it. They've got it spot on with the colour and the graphics. It really refers to the 70s, you know, like Dave's 250 Desmo. Beautiful looking thing. And from this side, look at it's got a hydroform swinging arm and the Sealy type adjusters on it. Just beautiful looking thing. This has got all the Ducati performance parts and lovely front mudguard on it. This is Dave's favourite bit, this bit of the tank here. You know, the lines on it, it's wonderful. But what it reminds me of is 2013, when I was living in Australia, I came over to do the TT, and Dave very kindly built me this, which was a 90s 900 SS turned into a cafe racer that we christened Brutus. But as you can see, I had it for 4 weeks and did plenty of miles on it. Similar bars, look at the Airhawk and the bags. Wonderful time. Let's go for a ride then. Okay, so this is me, Mike, riding now. Sounds good, doesn't it? So what's it feel like? Well, to be honest, it feels like a modern bike, which is what it is. All the controls are light, super light clutch, throttle, gear change, gearbox is great on it. The brakes are just immense on this thing. It's really, really good brakes on it, and the handling is so. Well, it's got the Öhlins at the back, and it's got the. I think they're off a Monster S4 on the front, and it just feels so composed. Like I ride the Ugly Bugly Multistrada, as Dave so kindly described it. And that's got good suspension on it, but it's not a patch on this. This feels superb. You know, you can see the road's a bit dodgy today. You know, it's middle of December, and even though it's nice skies, the temperatures are quite low, and the road's a bit damp and a bit yucky. But the feedback I'm getting, you know, I can feel the road surface through the palms of my hands and through the seat of my pants. You know, it's fantastic. You know. Beautiful handling bike, and the engine on it, as I said, I'm very used to 2-valve Desma Ducati engines, but this is a very healthy one. Feels more powerful than mine, and of course the bike's lighter, but I think this is about 95, mine's about 85, 90, but this just feels healthier. In fact, there's a crest coming up, and if you kind of gas it up a bit, you know, the front wheel comes off the ground. In fact, if you accelerate hard on this, it'll come off. You know, the front will come up. You know, just a little bit, not a massive wheelie, but it comes off the ground. So it's a lively ride. So yeah, it's just wonderful. I just love it. You know, it's my sort of bike. It's kind of funny because. You know, like I was championing the Guzzi, and Dave's championing this, but in reality, this is more my sort of bike, and the Guzzi is more Dave's sort of bike. But no, it's a fantastic thing. But yeah, it does feel a bit lumpy, low down, and that's why possibly it wouldn't make an ideal bike to ride with your classic mates, because you know, taken in isolation like this, it's a wonderful ride, but to keep up with your mates who are riding slower bikes, he might get a bit frustrated, and the bike is, as I said, it is a bit lumpy, low down. Maybe the change to the standard flywheel will make it better, because my bike's alright, my bike's fine, but this feels like it's quite highly strung, but it's just wonderful. I have to stop saying that word, you know, about this bike. But it's something we didn't cover. It's been a film star. This bike, it's been in not this particular one, but a black one, was in the Tron Legacy, which I've never seen the film, but apparently it had a starring role in that. So there you have it. So it's fantastic all-rounder. You could take it touring. You could put some panniers on the back of it. It's got a little screen. It's no way as practical as it's like something like a Multistrada or a V85 Guzzi. But I would really love to put one in my garage. It's got the classic look, but it's got the modern performance, and I think that's why it's a step ahead of things like the Enfield and the Bonneville, and some of the other bikes that we're looking at. Is this has got a proper sports chassis, and it's it's got a lot of history behind the engine. Compared to a Panigale, it's not fast, but for modern, normal road use, it's wonderful. So thank you very much, Dave, for letting me have a go, and I'll put my name down for more goes on it if you don't mind.